So guys, this is the tube pan that we are going to be using. Again, this is going to be ungreased because you never ever want to grease your tube pan. Otherwise your cake is going to come falling out when you flip it upside down. And you have to do that. That's the unique thing about Angel Food Cake is that once you get it out of the oven and you verify that it is baked properly all the way through, you're going to basically take a bottle, preferably with a little bit of foil wrapped around the neck, and you're going to effectively just do this. And it's going to stay like that for, I'd say at least half an hour, but also depends on a couple other factors. Now, here is the complete instruction list. So, we're going to need to move the oven rack to the lowest position, and we're then going to need to make sure we beat the cake mix and water in an extra large glass or metal bowl. We got our biggest one here. And that's going to be on low speed for 30 seconds to start. Then we're going to beat it on medium speed for 1 minute. Then we're going to pour into, again, our ungreased pan. And make sure not to use Bundt pan or Angel Food pan that is smaller than a 10 by 14. Otherwise your batter is just going to overflow. And then we're just going to bake it as directed. So again, since we're using a 10-inch by 4-inch Angel Food tube pan, we're probably going to need to go somewhere between 37 to 47 minutes. I'm probably going to shoot for about 40 minutes, and we'll see where that gets us. The number one thing to make sure is that you need to make sure the top is dark golden brown, and the cracks feel very dry. Do not underbake. You really do not want to underbake this, because especially when you flip it over, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to work out so hot. Or, before you even flip it over, it could collapse and render itself worthless. So we need to be very careful of that. And then once you do achieve that just perfect enough bake condition, and it's just got that nice golden brown, that dark golden brown, we're going to immediately turn the pan upside down. Don't wait a few minutes for it to cool. You got to do it immediately after you take it out of the oven. And that's, again, what we're going to use one of our bottles up top here to get the job done with a little bit of foil wrapped around the neck. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to start by actually getting this guy set, preheated to 325. I can't remember if this is a non-stick or an aluminum. I think this is actually possibly an aluminum, so we're going to shoot for 350 just to be on the safe side. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get this guy on the lowest rack. Remember, you have to do this or it's not going to bake properly. And just slide that bad boy in there. And I would say that's about enough space for us to fit our cake pan. Just make sure the height's alright. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Alright, so now that we have our cake mix in our large metal bowl, we're going to go ahead and add in our 1 1/3 cups of water. Alright? Okay guys, now that we have our water in with our cake mix, we're going to go ahead and start off by using a low speed with our electric mixer here, preferably. You can do this by hand if you're pretty good with mixing speeds manually, but we're going to play it safe and use the electric hand mixer here. We're going to start off with a low speed for 30 seconds. Then, we're going to step it up to a medium speed for about 1 minute. Count out loud if you need to, because you don't want to go too much further past either of those time sets. Alright? Alright guys, check that out. You'll notice it'll kind of puff up a little bit. This is exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and immediately get this into our pan. Alright guys, and one extra thing, if you want to do this before putting it into the oven, is just kind of do some of these. It's going to help get some of the air bubbles out. Also kind of even it out a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead and put this right into the oven, guys. Alright, remember, between 37 to 47 minutes for a tube pan like this at 350 or 325 for a non-stick. And we're going to probably shoot for right down the middle at 40 minutes, and we'll see how far that gets us. But remember, it must be a dark golden brown on the top when you go to take it out of the oven. So let's get started. And for our bottle, we just chose an empty bottle of Soda Rock Chardonnay, and we're going to wrap, again, just kind of the neck part all the way up to the top, and just regular aluminum foil should do the trick. You don't have to get out the non-stick. You can save that for other times. An additional ingredient, so to speak, that I didn't really mention earlier is that you're going to want to get some kind of a whipped type frosting. And we have Betty Crocker's Fluffy White here. This is perfect for angel food cake. You don't want to really go with something like a heavier buttercream, because that might kind of take away from its light, airy fluffiness. And also, if you'd like to do some strawberries on top, you can certainly do that when you go to serve it. Do not put the strawberries on top of the cake once you're done baking it, or even when you go to store it into the fridge. This is because it will turn out soggy and will ruin the composition of the cake. Alright guys, now we're going to go ahead and turn this upside down onto our bottle here. So, try and just do this carefully, alright? Just like this. There we go. Alright. It looks a little goofy, but this is what you gotta do, alright? See, there we go. Nice and upside down. It's okay if it doesn't fit down the entire length of the neck of the bottle. That's okay. As long as it just gets into a nice upside down position like that, that's what we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wait until this is cool to the touch. Alright, this is what the directions say. It needs to be cool to the touch, and then once it is, we can go ahead and use a serrated knife or an electric serrated knife to get this cake out of here, just carefully going around the edge. Alright, you don't want to go too fast. And then we'll be able to put our icing on top. And there we go, guys. Check that out. There is our angel food cake, baked to perfection. You can see we got a really good bake all the way through. Did not lose its sponginess. And yeah, really the only thing left that you have to do at this point is just top it with some white fluffy icing like we showed earlier. And remember, don't put the strawberries on until you have individual pieces that are ready to serve. Well, this has been another successful Major Mason's cooking, or in this case baking. I'll put the ingredients list in the directions below, as well as the directions on how to make this angel food cake in the description of this video. This is Major Mason, signing off. Peace.